Hello again. Thanks for joining me. It's your old pal Joe D here in another YouTube installment. In this awesome video, I am going to answer the question of what is the difference between debt financing and equity financing. This is obviously business related question. I'm going to jump right in. Actually, I'm not going to jump right in. First, I'm going to say if you like my content, please do a like and subscribe. It certainly helps me out. Thank you. All right, now I'm going to jump right in. So, difference between debt finance and equity financing. Well, as you can imagine from those names, they are both a form of financing your business. The difference is this: when you do debt financing, you're borrowing money from a bank or an entity or a person, whomever, but your promise to them for that money is that you will pay back the money and you will pay it back with interest. And that is the, sum total of your promise. You give me $100,000, I'm going to pay you back the $100,000 at 10% interest over a 10-year period. And that is how you are going to make this transaction worth your while. Equity financing is when someone gives you money for a stake in the company. So instead of them making a loan to you, they're really investing in your company, and they likely are gathering, not likely, they're gathering some kind of position in the company. Usually when it's equity financing, it's a corporation and they essentially get shares of the company in lieu of their funds. So therein lies the big difference. Do you want to raise money by giving away equity in your company and taking on partners essentially? Or would you rather just borrow money, not take on any partners, and just pay back what you borrowed with interest? I think, like kind of at first glance, you might say, hey, well, I just want to borrow the money and pay back with interest, and I don't have to deal with a partner and shareholders and all the stuff that comes along with that. And I would say, that's not untrue that there isn't a certain amount of inconvenience with partners. However, what can come with partners is other people that have a vested interest in the success of the organization that bring not only their financial resources, but perhaps their network of resources to the table and can help you make the company a greater success more quickly than you would have otherwise. So, if you've ever heard of venture capital or angel investing or that kind of thing, those people are giving founders of companies money to grow the business and make the business successful, and they're hoping that they're going to make a lot of money on their investment along the way. For really small businesses, I will say that for opening up like a local, I don't know, restaurant or yoga studio or something that's very local, it's I don't know how likely it is you would find investors that are anything other than friends or family. Usually investors like angel investors, venture capital, are going for bigger startups, kinds of, or companies that have significant scalability, that potentially have the chance of going public someday, because that's really where they make their money. I mean, usually with people that invest as equity investors, they can't make their money back and their profit until there is some sort of liquidity event, which means the company either has to be sold or be bought public, or they have to be bought out by another equity investor, and hopefully at a premium than what they paid. So it's difficult to get, equity investors that are not friends and family. Obviously, it's done all the time. It's just the kind of business you're starting and so on. Debt financing, I don't want to say it's easier to get, but it's certainly less complicated. And, other than friends and family, if debt financing can come in the form of even a credit card, a family member making you a loan with an interest rate, bank loan, SBA loans, a myriad of options. I have some other videos on that. So those are my thoughts on debt financing versus equity financing. Hope that clarifies a few things for you, and I will see you in the next one. Thanks.